Overview. What is it? That sharply cut nose is already a familiar sight on the UK's roads, despite the latest BMW 3 Series only actually being launched a few years ago. The F30 range is broad, with umpteen engines, trims and even a four-wheel drive version, dubbed 3 Series Drive, which now outsells the Audi A4 Quattro. BMW rolled out a new facelifted 3 last year to help it tackle the surprisingly fierce challenge from the Jaguar Z and Audi A4. Visual changes are minor, but there's an almost entirely new engine range and a lift for the interior. Driving. What is it like on the road? BMW 320d's drive front. Speak to BMW and this is where it believes it holds the biggest class advantage, which is saying something given that the previous 3 Series was regularly hailed as the best car in its class to point down a piece of tricky tarmac. This one isn't necessarily more tactile than the older ones, but it's certainly smoother and more supple, particularly with the must-have optional adaptive M Sport suspension. The steering is nicely weighted, and the front end is so accurate and responsive that you know exactly where you are with it at all times. It's smooth, enjoyable and exhibits deftness in all it does. What's more, BMW seems to have nailed the relationship between supple suspension and run-flat tires. This BMW 3 Series is more cohesive than ever, something that's only enhanced by this tweaked and even more near-perfect facelift. On the inside, layout, finish and space, BMW 320d's drive rear. Let's start by looking at the outside, which is longer than before. It's a big gain, but it only translates into an extra 15mm of extra knee clearance for those in the back. Disappointing though that sounds, it's enough to make a difference. The rear cabin now airier and more able to contain 6-footers. It's certainly class competitive, something older 3 Series could never claim. The boot's volume's a pretty decent 480 liters. But it's the driving environment that most impresses. The materials have been carved into interesting shapes on the dash and console, and there's ample optional equipment for you to shake your wallet at. Pleasingly though, sat-nav is standard on all. It's even more tactile and better quality with the facelift, and the fiddly cubby by the Gerlever is now a proper sliding tray.